All right, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Night Perry here on twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious. I'm so excited to be here. I got a very cool project we're going to work on today. You can see I have Tinkercad fired up behind me here, and I'm really excited on what we're doing because, as you know, I just became, over this weekend, the new Pro Wrestling Grind Grand Champion. Don't let the green screen fool you. It's a very beautiful belt. And most of you know that I do toy design, I do 3D printing, and it feels right that I would design a replica of the championship belt to be used with my action figures. I'm gonna real quick hop to the close-up screen here. Hey, Cody in the chat, first on board. Welcome, my friend. Um, I do have this is the rough prototype of the newest Perry figure. Very excited for how this is coming along. There is a much better sculpt of this that I just finished earlier today that I will be running its first test print tonight if all goes well. And hey, Bobby Gilbert, welcome, my friend. And again, it just feels like I really need to have the Grind Grand Championship to go with the figure. And in fact, I'm going to real quick. I'm going to drag in. I have a reference photo. This is what we'll be working on making a small replica of, right? And when I say we're making a replica of that, I don't mean an exact replica, right? I want something that fits the sort of toy aesthetic. And the example I can give you of that is what the hey Herobotic Rye, welcome. I'm gonna do my uh oh. We did it. Thanks for all the support. 10 of 10. That's a hype train fulfilled by Joey Nails. I see just sprung up in the chat. That's very cool. Welcome, Joey Nails. Um, but yeah, I don't want to go an exact replica of this, right? I want to go with what looks like how the Hasbro Championship belt looked for the Hasbro toys because that is the style that I designed my action figure. It's the same scale, same style as the old Hasbro's. Hey, Dizzy Hellfire, thanks for the subscription. Welcome. Thank you. Hey, Mr. Man, welcome. Good to see you. So we're gonna split the difference between these two looks. Now, what you see up above here, I'm just trying to point for the camera. What you see up above, that is what the championship belt looked like for the old WWF Hasbro's in the late 80s, early 90s. And what you see next to me here, that is the Grind Grand Championship as it sits right next to me right now. We're going to split the difference on the look of these two because I want this belt to feel right when I put it with the Perry action figure. So we've got some work ahead of us, but we do have those reference images, which is important. We do have the actual belt here in person, which is important. Um, However, before we get rolling, I thought I would share something with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share a fan clip of the moment that I won the Grind Grand Championship. And I thought it would be cool to share. This is actually from our regular in the chat, Nika Beans was kind enough to get this clip. So we're gonna go ahead and watch. This is fan footage of when I won the Grind Grand Championship. A couple things to watch for here that I'm gonna note. The crowd reaction. In the back, you can actually right now see Ryan Mooney and Delmi Exo. And you'll see our camera guy Paul in the foreground with the video camera. His reaction is outstanding. He had no idea that I was about to become champion. And he and I have done a lot of hours in car rides together. So it was pretty cool to be able to see his reaction on this. So here we go. Pretty psyched with that. That came off exactly the way I would have liked it. Oh, we could Hero wandered into frame at one point. Although he's describing it in the chat with slightly more colorful terminology than I would have necessarily. Um, I have alternate angles of the exact same moment. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna bring one up right now. As long as we're mentioning Hirobotic. He also was kind enough to share a clip. We're gonna check that out real quick before we get started. We're not gonna watch it on mute though. We want that sound. We're gonna roll that beautiful bean footage. Here we go. Pretty awesome. Yeah, the pan over to the crowd was pretty awesome. Um, Now I'm just real quickly making sure, was there anything? Oh, right. I do have one other thing I'm going to share before we get started. If you're watching this on YouTube and you're here for the Tinkercad, we are going to get started in just a second. Uh, but I'm designing this championship belt to go for the action figure of myself, and I thought I would share the early rendering of the figure with you guys. You'll be the first one to see it before I have one even fully printed up. This is a prototype. This was early. There's been some changes. Let's see. Dizzy says, "Would Perry ever consider wrestling in Tampa or Clearwater?" I mean, if I'm booked, yeah, of course. I mean, I go where the bookings are. Um, but yeah, I'm real quick. I'm gonna bring over. This is the early rendering, the current rendering of the new version of the Perry Von Vicious action figure. Changes to look at from the old one. I have different gear now, different leg sculpt altogether. The arm sculpts have been altered to show some changes in my attire. There's longer hair and an improved beard sculpt. So a lot of different changes here. I'm gonna let this let you get a quick whip around look at that. That is what it's looking like for right now, and I'm very happy with it. This took a lot of work over a fair bit of time, but I think it'll be worth it when they finally hit the old merch table. That's going to be a good feeling and a product I'm proud of. That said, we're going to get rolling on today's project, which is a championship belt for my little Hasbro figure. And I've got a few different things kind of at the ready here that I know I'm going to need. Uh, I have I have my test print of the early version of the figure. The sizing and everything hasn't changed, so I can use it for any measurements. I do have my digital micrometer or calipers. I have those handy. I've got a notebook and a pencil just in case I need to jot anything down while we work. But hopefully the initial design stuff here is going to go pretty quick, and then we'll be able to get into sort of decorating this to look like the actual piece. So, first things first, we need sort of just the general shape of the belt. You know, it's got a big middle part and then the straps that come off the side. That's where we're going to start on this. And again, one thing that's a little bit difficult is I am sort of splitting the difference between the actual belt and the old toy belt. Hey, Mr. Man, you mean you don't just take a measurement, write it down, lose the paper, and just wing it? I should try that sometime. Oh, trust me, I've been known to do that. See, Nicobene says I've been watching on a large screen, but OMG, I can't believe I just saw my little clip. Yeah, absolutely. Nicobeans, thank you so much for that clip. I'm excited for when the actual footage rolls out, but still pretty awesome. You know what? And I'll be able to share a little bit more from the event as we go on. I have some pictures and things that we might look back on as we work here. But for right now, I will be showing you guys a cool little trick on how I'm going to get one of these measurements because it's a difficult one to get. But for right now, what we need to do is get started on our basic shape here. So I'm going to be designing this whole thing flat. It's going to be printed. It's going to be very thin, printed in PLA plastic, which has a fairly low softening temperature, which is going to be really important. It's not a terribly flexible plastic. It can be brittle, but I do want this belt to be able to wrap around the figure. The simple way to take care of that is to make it fairly thin. When I print them off, they'll come out totally flat. I can hit them with a heat gun and kind of wrap them around and give them the round shape so it can go right on the figure. Um, and it does have a little flex, especially if we make it thin enough. So, first thing we need, I want sort of the shape of the center, what the big centerpiece of the belt that the big center plate will go on. So for that, I'm just taking my figure, I'm taking my micrometer, and I'm kind of just rough estimating what I think is going to look good here. And you want it to be big, but you don't want it to completely like cover up the figure either. Okay, and it looks to me like a height right around 17 or 18 millimeters is good. Let's go with 18. I think erring on the side of being a little bit too big is always for the best. So I'm gonna take take this guy, drag him in here. I'm gonna put the sides all the way up so it's nice and round. And we're going to make this 18. We're gonna make this 18. And now comes sort of the first that's what she said. I just saw that. See, Mr. Mann says I tried to smooth a 3D printed knife guard with a heat gun yesterday. It didn't go well. Smoothing these things with heat, I've done it. I've done it with great success, but it's a very slow process. It has to be done very carefully, um, and you have to really take your time. I find the less heat, the better. If I can go just warm enough to soften the plastic and then use my fingers, I'll start there. I will go as slow as need be because once you wreck the piece, there's no coming back. You have to start over, do a whole new print. All right, and then for the thickness on this, again, I'm going to just kind of look at my micrometer and kind of think like, what's a thickness that I expect to bend okay, but also still hold together well? And like a 2.5 millimeter looks pretty good to me. And if that doesn't sound very thick, it's not. It's very small. In fact, because we're all American here, I'm going to go ahead and give you the in inches. It is just a little over 1/10 of an inch. That's what we're working on for thickness here. So we're going to go 2.5. All right, and that's going to be our sort of center plate. All right, and that's a really good place to start here. Um, Now this next piece, there's going to be an important measurement that we're going to need, but we can at least get this up here first with the sort of easy guess bits. And that first bit is going to be how thick do we want that strap that runs around the actual belt to be. Now on the let's see, if we made it 18, yeah, I'm thinking somewhere around like a 12 is going to look pretty good. And once I have it on screen, we'll be able to actually see that a little bit better. So I'm going to say 12, and let's just get a look here. Let's get it roughly centered. That might actually be pretty good. And this other measurement here, what you're seeing the width, that is just guess. That is Boy, I might want that a little thinner. I might want that middle part to stand out a little more. Let's see what happens if we make this like a 10. Yeah, I think that's probably more what we're looking for here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. And then I just want to make this the same height, that 2.5. Let's see. Yeah, it was a four-piece build to cover a 10-inch knife. It was too thin to heat in retrospect, but oh well. That's what kind of material did you print in? That also is always a factor because PLA is pretty pliable. It can be a little hard to sand if you don't print in 100% infill. Yeah, if it was 100% infill, you can sand on it and get it closer, and then hit it with like just a little passing heat and get it pretty good. Um, but otherwise, yeah, PLA can be a really rough one to try to smooth. There's definitely some settings you can use in your slicer app, um, but they will make the entire print take much longer. Bobby says, when will we get Perry versus Steve for the Grand Championship? For those who don't know, Steve is Dr. Redacted, who was posting today on Twitter a list of dream opponents for death matches, and a few people threw my name in his potential opponents. And I don't know. I mean, never say never, I guess, but death matches aren't exactly my like dream situation. So, just just keep that in mind. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this piece because, as we know, the belts on the end are not square. They kind of round off, and that's what we're going to recreate here. I'm going to. What if it were silly weapons? I mean, most weapons are silly in some way. But who knows? Maybe. Like I said, never fully counted out. But yeah, not exactly my dream match style. All right, so I'm gonna bring these here, and I actually like this being a little bit stubbier on the end. I think that looks pretty good. All right, now's where I have to get some actual championships, or a champion versus champion, Perry Von Vicious versus Effie. Hey, I mean, don't threaten me with a good time. Like whoopee cushions. Whoopee cushions would be good. All right. So real quick, I'm going to hop into the big screen here because we need to get a very specific measurement off of my little test figure here. Usually I would use, and it's I need the circumference of his waist. Usually I would use a soft tape measure, which I do have, but it is not in the room with me. So instead, taking a sheet of paper, I'm just going to rip a little strip of it here, and we are going to go around Perry's little waist, and where it meets up on the end, I'm going to rip it off. And now I know that that is the circumference of Perry's waist. Couldn't be simpler. Couldn't be simpler. Am I right? Elmira marks my arts and crafts with the human monster truck. Welcome aboard. It's a favorite segment here on my channel. Let's see. I think mystery wrestling style death match would be more up my alley. Absolutely, it would. Um, and then Bobby says, too silly, Nick. He says, who needs a whoopee cushion when you can just use a fart pedal on a guitar or keyboard? That's a good point. Although that sounds like a more violent weapon in terms of a death match. All right. So I'm going to use my micrometer and get the number here so I know what we're working with, and this is actually a measurement I'm going to bother to write down. And we're going to say it's about 104 millimeters is the circumference around his waist. There's the pencil I kept around. Waist circumference 104 millimeters. Right. So that's an important number to know because we're going to have to make one side of the belt is going to be bigger than the other because we're going to have little clips that the belt has to go into so that it stays put, and the small side has to be bigger than that. So this is still we're still in the design phase as opposed to the decorative phase here. So let's go ahead and we need this number's got to be smaller. We're gonna make this maybe half of that. Maybe a little more than half. The thing is they got to be able to go around each other. So I think we're gonna actually call this about like 40. We're gonna bring it over. We're gonna put it to the center. We're gonna bring this back and let that match up, and that's gonna be one side. And the other side we're gonna go extra long on it. Probably make it like 80. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that. And it's got to be considerably thinner because we're going to have the little hooks for it to go into. So let's go ahead and call this like mm, like thick. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Yeah, that's going to work really well. And then for the length, it's currently 40, but we're going to call it like it's going to have to be like 80 because 64 gets us what we need. I think 80 gives us some extra leeway. We're going to bring it over all the way to there. Then we're going to copy this guy, bring it over as well, and make it the same size. I hope everything I'm doing here makes a lot of sense because in my mind it makes perfect sense. I know I'm following what I'm doing. The question is, does anyone else? All right. So this is roughly our belt design so far. Um, Now we need to make some pieces that are going to go on this side for this to slide into. Actually, do I want to make that thinner? No, it's fine the way it is. Why be a pain? All right. So come up here. We're even going to go all the way to the top view. And I'm going to make a duplicate of this. And we're going to shorten it on down to about there. Bring it to like right on the edge here. And now we got to stretch it up. If it's currently 2.5, that means 5 gets us the full thickness, but we need extra to go around it. I'm gonna put it at like a 9. It's big, but I think it's gonna be good. Oh, ha, ha. Great stuff. Great stuff, guys. So glad I have the chat here to remind me when I do that. I do that all the time, where I bring it up to the big screen, then I don't put it back. All right, but what I've done is I've made a long strap on one side, a thin strap on the other, because this strap is going to loop around back and go through this opening here. So that's where we're at. I wish that could have been more useful, but here we are. All right. So now that one we're going to make a copy of, and I'm going to go ahead and move it up here. Just so, you know what? We don't have to do that just yet. We are going to make a copy, but now we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2 to make it a little bit shorter. And now I'm going to go in 1 and in 1. Good. All right, that's what I needed there. And now there we go. All right, I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to deselect the big one. We're going to turn that bottom one into a negative, a hole. And then I'm going to group the two. And now we have the buckle piece that's going to slide through. You got to think it's almost like a little kid's watch. All right, and so now I'm going to take this. I'm going to make a copy, and we're going to bring it to like right there. And in fact, this one I'm going to bring over even more, and this one I'm going to bring over even more. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, Cody says, I was talking to Torres during the stream last night, and he asked me to tell you that you should listen to the warning. Oh, I've listened to the warning. He and I listened to it in the car when we're on our way to shows. They're awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do now is these pieces now are just the basic belt. We're going to put stuff on top of it to decorate. So I'm going to go ahead and group this whole thing. Boom. And there it is. There we have the sort of basic strap for the Grind Grand Championship. All right. So now what we want to do, if we all recall what we're working on here, I'm just going to bring it in frame a little bit. We have those, and then the goal is something kind of like this, right? That's sort of what we're looking at. So we have to look at this grind belt and we have to take like the very basic elements of it, just the most basic elements, and recreate it so that we can have something sort of in the style of the old Hasbro championship. And I think it's not going to be too hard. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be too hard. So I'm going to throw those on my alternate screen here so that I can look over and reference them. I also do have the actual championship belt at my feet here, so not an unreasonable task, but certainly not the easiest thing in the world either. I do want to try something though. So I have a transparent file of the Grind logo, and I would really like to be able to drag it in, and I know I can, and we're going to see if that's going to work. Sometimes it takes a minute. Like right now, uh, you'll be able to see it a little bit better if I bring it up. See that little green bar in the corner? It's loading. It's working on it. Bobby Gilbert says, show the belt. Yeah, while this is loading, got the belt with me as always. It is interacting interestingly with the green screen because it is mostly green. Which once this design is done, that's going to be my next stop. Is I'm going to be ordering some green PLA. I used to have a bunch, uh, but then I made a very small cactus planter for my wife. This is the green part missing, and yes, it is a Mario tube. That was the last of the green that I had. I had printed a bunch of stuff before that, so I'll be getting some green plastic so that I can print this in green, and then we'll be, in the style of the Hasbro belt. We'll be making the raised parts that I'm about to add. We'll be making those sort of a gold color. All right. But for now, while we wait and see if that loads, we're going to go ahead and try to make some of the design here. So in the middle, it says grind, but that's sort of on top of a globe. It does say Grand Champion. I think at the scale we're looking at, that's going to be really hard to have on there, but not impossible. Hey, Mr. Man says, what PLA company do you usually use? I've gone back and forth between a few different ones, and I'm happy to very quickly. I'm just gonna in a different window, I'm glancing at some of my past purchases just to see. I believe Overture is what I work with the most. Um, yeah, it looks like primarily I use. It looks like I've mostly used Overture. I've done some other ones for some more interesting PLAs. You know, your rainbow filaments, some shiny filaments. Soval is a company that I've used. Comgrow is one that I've used. It's a lot of B-side companies. You know, you typically you think of some of the more like Creality filaments or some of those, and I certainly would use those. I just haven't. I don't really have a better explanation than that. All right, so I wanna go ahead and you know what? We're actually I'm looking at this and I think I have an idea. Uh, with this ungrouped, I'm gonna drag this to like here, and then we're gonna soften those edges there so that this kind of comes out in a more organic way because I want to be able to have the matching side plates happening. Also, are you going to do two filament print or paint this? I do not have a printer that can do two filament prints. I could do the thing where I pause it mid print and then continue. That's really hard to do. I run on two Ender 3 Pros. They're old school single filament, single head printers. Um, and they're workhorses. I love them. I maintain them super easy. They were super cheap. That's right, Ender 3 gang, you know it. All right. Sue, what I want to do, trying to think if I want to go rounded or if I want to go just straight down. Yeah, I think we can get away with like a straight down kind of thing. All right. So what we want, we're gonna rotate this guy that way. Get a top side view here. We're gonna rotate it around to there. We're gonna move it up to there. Bring this part like we'll put it a little bit high and then call it like that, I think. And then I'm gonna turn that into a negative. Control D. Flip it. And we're gonna bring it down to there. Yeah, I think that's what we want. Okay, let's give that a shot and see what the result is. Yeah, that's gonna do. That works really good. Cool. All right, I'm happy with that. So for our two little side pieces here, you know, these little pieces here, they're sort of the same shape as the middle piece, and I'm kind of wondering if that's how I should do this. I kind of like this is where the artist part takes over. Because the original, you only had the design elements even on there. There was no big plate that they were a part of. They just had the design elements, and then these were sort of like that. I might even just do something like that because that's sort of the same shape as these side pieces. They've got the little, whatever these guys are at the top. So I might just go with that. Like that to me looks pretty good. And I bet I can whip something up that looks vaguely like that pretty quick. Let's give it a shot. Why not? We came all this way, right? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring in. Bobby says he wants to fight Bruce Campbell. Why? I think I'm asking a fair question. Why? All right, and let's go ahead and get a front view here. We're gonna bring it down so that it just comes up another millimeter, because because I think that's all it's going to take. All right. Now let's go ahead. Because he'll make a bunch of funny faces. That's fair. That's fair. Why would you want to do that? He's so nice. Yeah, I've only ever heard good things about Bruce Campbell. Bobby says because I think I could take him. That's no reason to fight someone. You could take a bunch of old ladies or like children, and that's no reason to fight them. Come on. Let's go ahead and go to like there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Let's get a top view here. Are we good and centered? I think we are. And now I'm going to go ahead and just radius the edges a little bit. Yeah, just something like that. See, now Dizzy wants to fight me. Why does everyone want to fight so bad? Just everybody just be cool, you know? Everybody just be friends. Okay, Command D. Get a nice top view here. We're gonna go about there. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, yeah, we're cooking with gas now. I keep that as a placeholder for a moment. I'm tired of being friendly. I gotta be manly. There's nothing unmanly about being friendly, though. Let's just be clear here. I think being friendly is very manly. All right, so now I want to alter this shape a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I think we're gonna bring it in like that. Actually, you know what? They're kind of wide on the grind belt. So we're gonna go a little bit wider. And then I want to take something like, what's gonna give me the shape I want? I think this is gonna be it. Come here, go way up on the sides. And then we're going to come down here like so. We're going to come way in. Make it real skinny. Okay, good. And let's see, is that going to be too much? What's the height on this piece? 4? We can do that. 4. And then let's see. If I come up top, Control D, and let's bring it like a half. Yeah, about a half. Okay. And then we're gonna Control D, Control D. We'll go back to the original. We'll take that one also about a half. And then Control D, Control D. Yeah, that's getting to be about the shape we're looking for. Now let's see. How well is this gonna how well is this gonna group? Are we still gonna see some lines there? Oh, ooh, okay. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, that looks pretty good. So now I wanna on the originals it says Grand Champion on there, but I think That's going to be so little itty bitty by the time this is printed that it's not really worth trying to put that on there. So instead, what I'm thinking is we sort of do something kind of similar to those original side plates there, where there's almost like this bow tie thing in the middle. I think that's what we do. Yeah. So I'm going to take this sort of triangle design here, and we're going to rotate that on a couple of its axes. Good. Yeah. Go up top here. We're just going to bring it inside on each edge here. Take this and put it somewhere roughly in the middle. That's good. Make a copy, flip it on its axis, and put it right there. Yeah, we're on to something now. Feeling good about this. And we're going to group that. So now, bring this guy back up to there. Then we're going to Control D. Okay, I'll put it there. We'll get rid of that one. We'll put it about there. Yeah. That's looking good. Little raised up part. Nice. Feeling good about this. Feeling good about this. All right. So for the rest of the design, I don't know. I have my doubts that this importing image is ever going to work. So I'm going to just let that ride in the corner and not worry about it. And instead, we're just gonna make this work. Okay. So what I'm going to do for right now is resize our window to about here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over the picture of the Grind Grand Championship so that we have it to compare with. All right, and we're gonna drop that guy right up above there. And I think that gives us a good point to work on from here. Let's see, Bobby Gilbert says Dump Matsumoto versus Perry Von Vicious and Johnny Torres versus Tommy Vendetta. Good heavens. Good heavens. I mean, I don't know if I'm iffy about getting in a ring with Doctor Redacted. I think getting in a ring with Dump Matsumoto might be a bit above my pay grade. I'd love to do it; it'd be an honor, but it's terrifying. All right, so I think we might be able to put Grand Champion on here, but it's gonna be a tough one. At the very least, I know we can get Grind on here. So we're going to take this text that we can pop in here. Perry fears dump. Who wouldn't? I should play Wonderwall on my guitar. My guitar is not with me in the office here, I'm afraid. All right, so there's a few different texts here. We just got to find which one. That one's pretty close. That one's not bad. Yeah, I think this Sans is going to be the one. And now I'm just going to check a few different things here. I don't. Yeah, that's good. We want it thicker like that. Great. And now grind. I think that's looking pretty good. Let me see if one of these other ones happens to be better. Nope. I think Sands is the one. That's the one that's the closest we're going to get. All right. And we need it up in the middle here. And we need it to be, how tall is this piece? Because we need all these to be uniform. 4 millimeters. So we're going to go 4 millimeters in height. Dump doesn't scare me. Aja Kong, on the other hand, I'm terrified of her. Hey, I think you should be scared of all of them. Look, Bobby, I don't mean to undersell you here, but I don't see you standing a chance against any of them. But what a way to go. All right, and we are going to make, well, the grind on the original belt is pretty small. I'm going to let this be a bit bigger like that. I'm going to let it kind of stick out a bit, be kind of big. I'm trying to think, do we want Grand Champion on here? I think we probably should. It's gonna be a tough fit. Not undoable, mind you. Not undoable. All right. And I actually think I'm gonna take one of these because it's a similar shape. I kind of want to do like the top and sides with this. So I think I'm gonna take one of these empty pieces and we're gonna come down here. We're gonna get it centered on the piece. To like there, to like there. We'll do those. I just think we could go a little bit wider. Let's try it. Let's go nuts. Yeah, let's try like there and there. Might need to come down just a well, maybe it's okay. Let's group it and see what it looks like. Because that's gonna be a big determining factor. Okay. Well, maybe. Maybe. See, Perry is going to hold the Grand Championship for 10 years and lose it to Joey Nails in his retirement match. You think I'm sticking around and wrestling for 10 more years? Trust me, no one wants to see me wrestling at age 50, Bobby. Heck, I almost rival him. I fear I turned too creepy trying to hand two separate women emotional support shrimp. Immediate disgust had me questioning my whimsy. Ah, those people just don't get it. They just don't get it. Some people just don't like fun the way the rest of us do. And you know what? It's their loss. I believe it was the great philosopher Andrew W.K. who said, "We want fun." So, if Andrew W.K. ain't right, I don't know what to do. If he's wrong, I don't want to be right. I'll tell you that. All right, let's get wide on this. Let's go all the way to those edges there. And then grind is going to come just inside. All right. We're making progress now. Yeah. Now, grind is sort of on like a globe, but I don't want to mess up the lettering here. So we might have to do like a half globe and a half globe or something. Yeah, that might be the way to do it, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've got a cool idea on how to do this. Oh yeah, yeah. Nika Beans has emotional support shrimp. I have one right here. That's there's a lot of glare on it. Yeah, little shrimp in a bottle. The old emotional support shrimp. Also have a little chicken that looks weird with the green screen because it's teal. This is my plight. I was wearing a green shirt exactly the color of my green screen when I was working out right before this. I'm so glad I changed. Says I tried to gift some and I realized they maybe do look a little creepy. Hey, I'm telling you, those are just people who don't get it. Not everyone gets great art. You know what I mean? Some people just want to watch the world be boring. And while that may sound a little rude, I stand by it. All right. I want to give like a little bit here so this sticks out a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring in one of these guys. We're gonna make it our preferred height of 4 millimeters. And then I'm gonna shrink it on down to a size I think we can work with appropriately. Bring it up to like there or so, to like there. Bring it to there, and I'm just going to radius it a little bit. Mhm. And then, yeah, we'll put it about there. Yeah, that's good. That's looking real good. I like that better. Well, see if maybe if we make it a little longer. How's that? Yeah, I like that too. All right, cool. Go ahead and Control D, and we're going to match that on the other side. Da, 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 da. I need a little more fine control here. There we go. That's matching. Right? How we think about that? Let's zoom in, get a little. Yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Just for the sake of making this look the way I want. Go ahead and make that, and then I'm gonna grab all of these. We'll make them some kind of like, yeah, there we go. Now we're looking like a toy of the grind belt. That's what I'm talking about. People from Massachusetts have a few laws: no Quakers, no witches, no snoring with open windows. That's not true. Plenty of Quakers here. In fact, I mean, not to out anyone, but I believe one of the regulars in the chat here, who's a Massachusetts born and raised native, is a Quaker who's been here their entire life. There it is. Yep, robotic. So I don't know about any laws about not having Quakers in Massachusetts. I think that may be a myth. All right, let's see. So we could have the little square there that's supposed to say pro wrestling, but I don't think we need that. I think what we need is sort of like a globe behind it. I think that's the missing piece here. Um, so what I'm gonna do, I think we need to start with a circle with a lot of sides, and we're gonna, yeah, let's go ahead and make it the height that we need, which is a 4. And real quick, I'm gonna bring it in just so we can size it the way I'd like. I'd like it to end about there. It's not fully centered. There we go. That's better. Like the bottom to end about there. And I kind of want it to be like one of those, when you would see like globes on TV and they would be shaped kind of funny, like they wouldn't be totally circles, they'd be a little bit oblong. I think I want it to be sort of like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to add some openings here and there to sort of give this that globe kind of look. And then I'm going to cut it into 2 little halves that can go above and below the grind so that it's not in the way of the lettering. Now, Bobby, if you make it happen, you let me know. You let me know because these are going to be going into production as soon as I can. In fact, this very belt I may be running a test print of tonight. Probably not in the actual color it'll end up, but just something I can test out and try while I wait for my green PLA to come in. All right, so we're going to work with this down here and then move it back up into place. So let's go ahead and now, how do I want to go about this? I think I can accomplish what I'm looking for here. Almost like with a grid. Let's give it a shot and see how we get on here. I think mm, I'm trying to be very purposeful in how I do this. The Control D. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go in a bit there. Got to remember, I'm printing with PLA. The fine details often can be lost in the end product. All right, and I'm gonna go a little bit north and then bring this a little bit down, make it into a hole. Okay, it's all coming together for me now. I think I know what I'm doing. I think I know what I want to do here. Turn that solid. Can make it orange just for the sake of ease of use. And we're going to just make a grid about to there, 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 and there. All right. And I'm going to take these, just going to bring them all inside here. And I'm just going to stretch them out so they go right where I need them. Okay, feel good about that. I'm just trying to make sure that these fully connect with each other here. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm getting caught up on the chat here. Nicobene says, I rescued my turtle from Daytona Beach flea market. No instructions. He just came in a tiny dish with no food. Moved to Mass and found out they're illegal to have here. The pet store clerk sassed me so hard. I hate that. I don't like that story at all. That's terrible. Bobby, what was the turtle doing at Daytona International Speedway? Obviously, it was winning a race against a rabbit. Have you never seen the Looney Tunes? Come on. One for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Okay. We'll go about there. I like that. Ah, gotta make a copy of it first. Then we do it. Okay. Hey. Don't you go getting sassy on me. There we go. Now we'll go ahead and Command D. B. Now I'm going to just move those up till they're all even. That's good. Bring these just on the inside there. We're going to shorten some of these up big time in just a sec here. Now we got to go sort of one at a time here. Just, it almost looks like we're making a lattice pie crust, and I am here for it. I haven't made a pie in a little while. I should really, I should make a pie. I don't know. What do you guys think? Baking stream? We all here for a little Chef Perry action at some point. Okay, let's go there. This one's gonna come way in. All right, that's looking pretty good. Flea markets there on the weekend. Oh yeah, and he was the fastest one in the tank. So you named him Steven Seagal. It's the turtle version of Santa's Little Helper. Yes, Santos El Helper. All right, and now if I group those, and then I take that whole thing, I group that. I'm going to lose this one. Oh goodness, I didn't make that one part the right size at all. That's funny. All right. We're going to fix this real quick here because that is not what we want. Make that 4. There we go. That's what we wanted. Now we're going to group. Group the whole thing. I said group, 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 group. There we go. All right. Now I need drop one of these in here. And we're going to make it just big enough to protect those grind letters when we pop this design in here. Good. All right, and let's bring it up and get it where we want it. Zoom way in. All right, I'm liking that. We need it a little more centered. Something like that. And I actually think we can make this, well, maybe like there is good. Yeah, I'm going to go about there too. And now we get to see sort of the magic here. Ba-bam. And I'm going to shorten this one. Oh, you know what? We got to, ah, I didn't turn it into 2 pieces. This is where it gets tricky. This is how they get you. All right, but that's all right. We can overcome that. Because now I'm just very fine tuning. Gonna move it up. Stretch it a little bit. I want more space than that. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Control D, Control D. All right. So first we're gonna stretch this one down here. Select that one, and those will group. So now we have a top piece. And then I'm going to take this one. We're going to group that. Now we have 2 pieces. That's what we needed, everybody. That's what we needed. I like having a little bit more space there. Actually, wouldn't mind terribly if this was stretched out just a little more. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Very pleased with how that turned out. What do we think? Do we need more side plates? Do we need like, I mean, I guess, I don't want to put more just in case. Oh, we could do like a little one next to them. Yeah, I'm a sucker for doing that. Right, so we're gonna come over here to like there, and I'm gonna just eyeball this to what feels right. And that's gonna need to come down just a hair. And we're gonna make a copy of that one. And I'm gonna bring it similar spacing on this size. Yeah. All right, and this I'm gonna turn yellow just for visuals. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this, you guys. This is coming out pretty good. What do we think so far? Let me know in the chat. Is this holding up to the actual grind title? Is this looking good? Right? Like if I put the two next to each other and try to size them similarly, like I think for sort of a toyetic equivalent here, I think we're onto something. If we take a look at that Hasbro style one again, I do think that in a lot of ways we're kind of splitting the difference here. We've taken the grind belt and we've done something sort of in the style here. Because I don't think Grand Champion is going to show once the lettering is all that small. And in fact, on the WWF belt here, they've got the WWF logo, but they don't have any other lettering is going to be lost. So they just went with the eagle and some decorative stuff here. I think this is looking pretty good. Yeah, I'm exceedingly pleased with this. And I made pretty good time on that considering it's only a little bit after 10 here. That's pretty good. You guys, I might have prototypes of these ready to go tomorrow so I can start seeing if I'm ready to run productions off. I know Nika Beans is excited to get a blank of the new Perry for painting. And I'm excited to send that your way once it's ready. Um, and I'm hoping next week on Monday, hopefully when you guys open up this stream, I will be down in the workshop with a pile of these little belts and a pile of hopefully primed and ready to go Perry parts so that we can start painting some toys because some current economic decisions being made in this country have made it very difficult to order T-shirts and certain other goods in a way where it makes any sense at all. So, being able to 3D print my own toys is going to be a big deal for me financially this year. All right, Perry, I'm already looking up how to make tiny leather trunks. I know that making the soft goods for the figures is very difficult. Because I can do a little bit of hand sewing and I can sew with a machine pretty good, but the pieces are so small. It's really difficult because I wanted to make my leather jacket that I enter with for the figure, and it's just not feasible to make at scale to sell. Like I could do one or two here or there, but those would be very expensive editions of the toy. um, that said, worse things have happened. Um, all right. So I'm going to keep these. I was going to just dump those down, but I'm going to keep those around because I need to make a thumbnail of this after for when it goes up on YouTube. But yeah, I'm real happy with that. The fact that we have the little hooks for this piece to go in so that it's actually going to go on the figure, I feel good about that. Yeah. Boy, yeah, as the more I pan out and look at this is really nice. Print this on some green plastic and then hit the high points with some gold. I think we're looking at something really cool there. Yeah, happy with that. And it's possible I may need to come in here and do some changes to the design after the fact, once I've seen how it prints. And that's something that I'm open to. I'm not going to get too worked up if the first print isn't perfect. But yeah, this is going to be a great little accessory. And again, like I said, the idea here is I'm going to take, because this will print flat on a fairly brittle plastic, I'm going to take some heat to it, just a light bit of heat gun, and bend it around so that it's kind of already rounding to go on the figure. And you will be able to take it on and off the figure. But yeah, I've got some more 3D projects ahead of me that I will probably be doing off stream because they're not really like, to me, this one was kind of fun. Um, but apart from the Perry prototype, we're just about ready to roll on the Delmy prototype, and pretty soon I'm going to be doing an updated Rip Bison. And once I've gotten rolling with all those, there's some other wrestlers that I'm kind of in talks with that'll be in the works. So look out for those. But for now, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring this up nice and big one last time. Put it up on the screen there. I'm going to go ahead and making myself a little bit bigger down here. Oh, oh, yeah. Wanted a little more space here, but I just wanted to make sure that we got the actual belt on screen with the fake one, even if I am in green screen heck right now. I'm gonna turn that filter back off again. Yeah, there we go. I think this is the image we all wanted. If I can peek over. But yeah, new champ, new toys. Be on the lookout. I'm hoping, big fingers crossed. I'll have these on the merch table in time for Blitzkrieg Pro coming up in just a few weeks. And just a week or so after that will be my first defense of the Grind Grand Championship, May 24th in East Hampton, Massachusetts, defending against a very, very fitting opponent, the one and the only Joseph A. Game Alexander. He gave me one of the best matches I had in America in 2023, and we've not competed since. I do think it's interesting to note the last time we were in a ring together, if it was a singles in 2023, I beat A Game. But that's not the last time we were in a ring together, all told. We were in a 6-man tag at the end of 2024. And the very end of that match, A Game pinned me. So something to think about there. There's a little bit of a rubber match element to this match coming up, and I'm really looking forward to it. But for now, we are going to call that a stream. I'm so psyched with how this came out. I'm going to be setting it up to run a test print as soon as I'm off stream here. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing how these pieces come out. I'm probably going to run a test print of the new Perry figure tonight. And if all of those come out well, you may see pictures of those on my socials as early as tomorrow. So you'll be sure to want to tune into that. But for now, as always, end of the stream, we are going to hop over. We are going to raid Johnny Torres, get caught up with him. My good friend, the announcer from basically all of New England. So I'm sending this over that way. Thank you all so much for hanging out on this Tinkercad stream. And I can't wait to show you the finished product when it's all done. Take care. We will hang out again soon. Monday, 9 p.m. See you then. All right, we are jumping on over. I'll see you in the chat over on Torres' stream. Take care, everybody.